it was a bloodbath of cancellations on NBC and Peacock. And the explanation was, we don't have enough room to air all of the games that we are now contracted to air, and we had to make room. And we chose to go after the shows that were costly in production and maybe some that weren't doing well in the ratings, and said goodbye. And I'm like, what? Why would you? I mean, you know how many games this contract is going to propose well before you agree to it. You have to know what your scheduling looks like. So, I mean, it seems to me like it was a run and gun, like, oops, oh, we have that many games? It's like, was nobody paying attention? Like, and unfortunately, now, Suits LA, I get, it was an up and down. Many people were like, we were hoping for Suits and we didn't get that, so we bailed on it. But Found and The Irrational and Night Court and even Lopez vs. Lopez were still doing somewhat decent in the ratings, and they had huge fan bases, which you saw blow up social media after the cancellations. They're like, what the fuck? And those were, I will say, Found and Irrational anyway. They were justifying by they were costly to make. Okay, but it's like, So, yeah, I'm kind of upset about this. You have to do a better management job. You have to pay attention to what you are doing. What are you bringing in how do you make it work without having to axe? I will say, for anybody that wasn't familiar or doesn't know, they did try to shop Suits LA to Netflix. Netflix passed. I'm not sure if Universal is going to continue to try to sell it to somewhere else, but Netflix did pass. And Found. Warner Brothers is desperately shopping Found for a new home. Oprah, you saved All Rise because it was a very diverse cast with a black lead. Hello? Come on, Oprah. Bring home Found to own. It just makes sense to me. But anyway, in case you guys are wondering, there's still hope for a couple of those shows.
Yeah, it's been a really weird year when it comes to shows because you feel like a lot of the ones that got canceled this past 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, are very popular because jumping off of NBC Universal a little bit, but I mean, Power book, Raising Kanan for Stars. You had On Call for Prime Video. That was a very popular one. Like you said, Irrational, Found, Suits LA, Lopez versus Lopez, Night Court, the Rescue High Surf, and The Equalizer on CBS.
Yeah, and all of Dick Wolf's CBS FBI's. All the FBI stuff was like, so even Dick Wolf wasn't immune. His Law and Order will never be touched. But it was like, but my thing with Found was like, why didn't you do for Found what you did for Organized Crime? If it wasn't necessarily performing at the level that you wanted it to, because Organized Crime is still seeing nice numbers on Peacock, which is always where I watched it anyway. I watch all 3 Law & Orders the next day on Peacock. But why not do that for Found? It's a proven go-getter for the first 2 seasons. Don't bail on it. At least, in my opinion, put it on Peacock for one final season and let them close it out properly before you just bail on it. I don't... That kind of upset me. I'm like, and probably the same thing for the FBI series is because they all ended on cliffhangers too. It's like, just put them on Paramount Plus and let them at least get one more season to close it out. That's the thing I hate the most is if you know you're going to cancel them, give the show writers advance notice so that they can finish their plot lines. Because if not, they end on these cliffhangers and you're like, never know what happens to your people. And that pisses me off.
Yeah, completely agree. And I just feel like a lot of these things don't make any sense. I just, and it always makes me mad too because they always cancel the shows, especially for linear television. They always cancel the shows when there's 1 or 2 episodes left of the season.
Yeah.
So that makes me specifically not want to watch the rest of it just because I'm like, what's the point? Because I'm going to get mad because of the cliffhangers, because these people not knowing that,
which is fair. That's a fair judgment. I'm sure there's many like you that think the same way.
It sucks, man, because like I haven't gone back to Suits LA, which I was enjoying. At first it was a little rocky, but I felt like they found their rhythm a little bit
When they
towards the
stepped
end.
away from the original Suits, which is
Yes.
why I think people bailed on it. But that's when I loved it, when they
Yeah.
started to establish their own identity. And it was like, it only made sense to me. It's like, this is not Suits, guys. It's
Yeah.
these.
It,
And I don't know about you, but I was liking the character development. I liked where they were going with the relationship between the characters and the bitterness and the friendships, and like it pissed me off because they were finally starting to share backstory and develop these characters, and we were connecting and feeling with them, and then just nope.
yeah. It doesn't make any sense.